Yeah, Monday. What's up, everybody? Monday morning. Welcome to today's edition of the DMC. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Hope you guys had a phenomenal weekend. We are down about 2% this morning, 2.5% this morning in the S&P, almost 3% in the NASDAQ as the markets are taking a bit of a pounding. But let's take a look this morning at some opportunities as they may present themselves in terms of short-term opportunities from reversals and breakouts. If you see a couple of things that are some lines from yesterday. We had a live trade room last night. If you'd like to learn more about our live trade rooms, go to tradersarmy.com, become a member. If we can't help you get 3 points in the S&P to make it worth your while, then I'm not doing something right. And last night would have gotten all of it because last night we had identified a very nice gap and go trade from 38.60 as it gave us an entry at 38.60 and then it hit its target at 38.22 on the gap and go. So hopefully some of you that were in the trade room last night caught that one for a pretty nice piece of cheddar, as they might say. It was a nice 38-point move in the S&P. But that move is over, so we're going to remove all those lines. What am I looking at for this morning? So this morning what I would say is let's take a look and see if we get a bit of a rally up early in the morning for a potential reversal. And I would look right up into here, right there at the London market open. But the other thing that I would say is if we continue to break down, let's see if we wind up dropping 3.5% today and have another percent move down in the S&P. I wouldn't be surprised at that. So getting short below the Globex low is also another possibility as we're seeing a little bit of weakness right through here. No reason to look for a long in this market. We'd said last week was kind of a pivotal week and a very important week, but we were unable to get a new weekly high. And so by being unable to get a new weekly high, we just showed a lot more weakness in our markets overall. In the NASDAQ, we also had the gap and go trade. It is continuing to run down. And so looking at this on a smaller time frame, say the 15-minute, very similar picture would be a breakdown below the low. I don't have as clean of a reversal on the NASDAQ as I do in the S&P right there around the London Open, but I will still wrap my lines around that area because it is still a valid zone. Pardon my voice this morning. I'm dealing with a little bit of hoarseness. So 11,609 by 11,645. The Russell also down almost 3%, 2.5%. Wrapping our lines around the Russell. Here's the Globex low, and here would be our reversal level. So both of those areas all look like potential setups for today. Some of you may still be in the short from last night's live trade room. If you are, at the very least, take your stop, move it to our target point so that you've locked in a really good trade. Your week may be done, right? I mean, that's one of those trades where your week could be over by the end of Sunday night. Next, on the energies and metals. We talked a little bit about crude oil last night, and we looked at this area down here as a potential candle-to-candle reversal. Now, what I'm specifically looking at is that we've got a pretty decent upward trend, and we can see that we didn't quite make it back down to the rising trend line yet to give us a solid entry, and we're basing a bit sideways. So by basing a bit sideways, it's making everything a bit more cautious. And so we've got a couple of levels in here from the 15-minute time period. This little itty-bitty wick over wick right in there at about 120.20. And you certainly still also have a bit of a breakdown there below 118. It looks like we may get a little breakdown in crude oil, but the only way you can take a short really is on a breakdown out of a level like this. Gold looked like a pile of hot garbage last night, as we still look like a pile of hot garbage. We gapped up in gold and then immediately traded down pretty hard. And we had said, well, there's a good chance a large chunk of this speed candle will get retraced, and that's exactly what has started to happen. Is a bit of a retracement has started to come back down. As we were looking at it last night in the live trade room, we talked about the fact, okay, you could get a retracement and a bit of a breakdown below 1873. Unfortunately, we didn't get much basing there, so you may or may not have gotten into that position on that move down. Look for this area here. There's a little tiny, we'll call it a noisy cricket level, 1844 by 1843, as we're looking at our retracement kind of coming to fruition. Speed candles do tend to get retraced, and then oftentimes price trades in the direction of that original speed candle, and that's what we see here with this rather strong move higher. Natural gas, I don't really think there's a whole lot in nat gas. A little 15-minute level down below us for price to kind of continue to make it down to, but nothing really has changed. We had looked a little bit at some of the bonds and currencies last night. The ZN and the ZB both continue to show weakness. We did get a good breakdown in the 30-year note. If anybody took that short, that one is starting to move nicely in our direction. Take your stop, move it to break even when we get a few more points, because that one has moved nicely. Same thing with the Canadian dollar level. A little bit of a breakdown from there with some nice basing, and it's moved also our direction. The one that I really looked at last night that I want everyone to kind of keep an eye on is the Japanese yen. We can see that the yen is sitting above a pretty strong potential breakdown point. So look at this area for a breakdown as we head through the week, as the yen has continued its weakness for a while now. Let's look at the yen as really a good opportunity to look for a short. So as we continue to trade to the downside, stick with the trend. Let them don't try to pick a bottom. It's not going to do you any good. You know, we talked yesterday, or I talked last week about on the SPX. I actually posted this out about that we were at a pivotal spot, but I needed to get above this high. We haven't done that yet. So really, where's the next area? I think 3,500 is a strong potential in the S&P. So we'll see if that's an area that we can get to. But if you have any questions, as always, shoot us an email, support@tradersarmy.com. Until tomorrow, everybody, I will talk to you soon. See ya.
Hey, thanks for joining us. If you like what we do, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's the only way the computers know that you're actually alive and really care. And go to tradersarmy.com today to learn a bit more. And if you want to see some of our other videos, click here in the box.